You want to start coasting on Airbnb, but there's one thing holding you back. You don't have any experience. Why would anyone hand you the keys to their property and trust you to manage it when you've never done this before? I get it. This is the single most common question that I hear from people who want to get into co-hosting. And I'll be honest with you, it's the wrong question to be asking because the experience gap is so much smaller than you think it is. And by the end of this video, I'm going to prove that to you. I'm going to walk you through the 3 pillars of launching a co-hosting business from scratch. Hi, I'm James Fedek, co-author of Airbnb for Dummies and one of the world's leading short-term rental educators. Over my 8 years of hosting through every market cycle, I've personally managed dozens of listings while earning a full-time income myself and traveling the world full-time. I've been featured in some of the world's biggest publications and helped thousands of hosts to level up their hosting. Through B&B Mastery, I've helped over 800 hosts to optimize their business, plus helped over 700 people launch successful co-hosting careers. I'm here to help you with your short-term rental. First, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what co-hosting actually is and why right now is such a great time to get into this. Co-hosting is simple. You manage someone else's short-term rental property and you take a percentage of the revenue, typically somewhere between 20 and 25%. You're handling the day-to-day operations so the property owner doesn't have to. Now, this is different from traditional property management. Co-hosting is lighter, it's more accessible, and in most markets, it doesn't require a property management license. It's one of the lowest barrier to entry business models in real estate because you don't need to buy a property, you don't need massive startup costs, and you don't need years of experience to get started. And the timing right now is actually really strong. There are more individual property owners than ever who have bought during the short-term rental boom and are now either overwhelmed or underperforming. Airbnb's platform has gotten significantly more complex. Algorithm changes, new settings, the co-host network, constant updates, and owners need help navigating all of it. That's where you come in. But getting in at the right time means nothing if you don't position yourself correctly. And that starts with choosing your niche. Most new co-hosts make the mistake of saying, I'll manage anything for anyone. They think casting the widest net possible gives them the best chance of landing a client, but it actually does the opposite. It makes you invisible. When you try to appeal to everyone, you end up appealing to no one. A niche makes you the obvious choice for a specific type of property owner. It makes your marketing simpler, your pitch more compelling, and your operations dramatically easier to build and repeat. So how do you actually find your niche? There are 3 different angles you can approach this from. The first is a geographic niche. Pick a specific market or neighborhood that you know well. Local knowledge is a massive selling point. When you can tell a property owner, I know this area inside and out. I understand the seasonal patterns. I know what guests are looking for. I'm familiar with the local regulations. That's incredibly compelling. You don't need to have managed property before to know your own backyard. The second angle is a property type niche. You specialize in a specific category property, luxury cabins, urban condos, pet-friendly rentals, family vacation homes, whatever it is. This lets you build repeatable systems because every property you manage follows a similar playbook. Your cleaning checklist, your guest communication, your pricing strategy, it all becomes templated and scalable. The third angle is an owner type niche. You target a specific kind of property owner based on their situation. Out-of-state investors who bought remotely and have never set foot in the market. Burned out self-managers who are drowning in guest messages and cleaning coordination. People transitioning from long-term rentals to short-term rentals and don't know where to start. Each of these owner types has different pain points, and when you can speak directly to their specific problems, your pitch becomes 10 times more powerful. Now, once you've chosen a direction, you need to validate it. Look at your local market. Are there enough properties in your chosen niche to actually build a profitable business? Is the revenue high enough to support your commission? This is where tools like AirDNA and our market analysis spreadsheet come in really handy. If you want to go deeper on that and get your hands on those tools, check out the free training that I've linked in the description right down below. All right, so you've picked your niche. Now we're at the part that stops most people dead in their tracks. How do you actually land a client when you've never done this before? Here's the truth that most people don't realize. Property owners are not looking for a company with 100 listings on their roster. They're looking for someone who's going to solve their problems. That's it. And when you really think about it, you actually have 3 things working in your favor right now. One, you have the time. You aren't spread thin across dozens or hundreds of properties. You can give your first client a level of attention and care that a big management company never will. Two, you have the commitment. Your first client isn't just another number on a spreadsheet. They're the foundation of your entire business. They're going to be the source of your first referrals, your first testimonials, your first proof of concept. You're more motivated to make this work for them than anyone else possibly could be. And three, you have access to the knowledge. Between what's available right here on YouTube and trainings like the free co-host training I put together for people who are just like you starting out, again, link in the description, you can learn the exact strategies and systems that top performing hosts and co-hosts use. You don't need to figure this out through years and trial and error. And here's what I call the experience paradox. Many large property management companies actually deliver mediocre results because they're stretched so thin. They've got hundreds of listings and they're running on autopilot. A focused boutique co-host with 5 listings can genuinely outperform a company with 50 because you're paying closer attention, you're more responsive, and you care more about each individual property's performance. So what most people think is going to be their biggest weakness, not having a huge portfolio, can actually be flipped into their biggest strength. So how do you build credibility before you've ever even managed your first property? This is where understanding your niche and the specific problems owners face becomes critical. When you reach out to a potential client, do not lead with a pitch. Lead with questions. Your goal in that first conversation is to fully understand where they're at, what challenges they're dealing with, and what their ideal outcome looks like. Ask them about their occupancy, their pricing strategy, their guest reviews, their biggest headaches. Listen. Take notes, and then share how you can help them to solve those specific problems. This approach does something really powerful. It demonstrates competence without needing a track record. When you can identify that their pricing is off, or their listing photos aren't doing the property justice, or their guest communication is costing them reviews, you're providing value in real time during that conversation. And you don't need to have managed properties to understand pricing strategy, listing optimization, guest communication, and how Airbnb's algorithm works. These are learnable skills. If you have any adjacent experience, hospitality, customer service, real estate, marketing, project management, even just being well traveled as an Airbnb guest, position that as relevant because it is relevant. Now, where do you actually find these clients? There are 4 main channels that I would personally recommend focusing on. The first is your existing network. I know it sounds simple, but this is where a lot of first clients come from. Tell everyone you know what you're doing. Post on social media, talk about it at dinner parties. Your first client is often a warm connection or just 1 degree of separation away. Someone's uncle has a cabin he's not using. Your neighbor's coworker just bought an investment property. These connections are everywhere once you start putting the word out. The second channel is local real estate and investor groups. Real estate investors who own short-term rentals are your ideal target clients. Attend local meetups, join Facebook groups for real estate investors or property owners in your area. Connect with agents and investors on social media. These are people who already own properties. They just need some help to manage them. Third is direct outreach to owners. Find listings in your market that are clearly in need of assistance. This doesn't need to be underperforming listings. It could be listings that are performing really well where the owner just needs a lot of help. Then reach out to the owner directly. You can find them through property records, social media, or even just a Google search, or reach out to them directly on the platform you found them on. Say something like, hey, I noticed your listing and I think there are some specific things that we could do to improve your results. That's an incredibly effective opening. It's broad, it keeps things open, and is a great foundation for a conversation. And fourth, Airbnb's co-hosting network. Airbnb has built this feature specifically to connect property owners with co-hosts. Make sure your profile is fully optimized and you're listed in the network for your market. Owners are actively searching for help on this platform. Make sure that you're visible when they do. Once you've found a potential client and had that initial conversation, it's then time for the pitch. And the key here, don't be generic. Tailor everything to the individual property owner based on the exact challenges they brought up and their specific goals. See how that's completely different from, I offer co-hosting services, here's my rate? You're speaking their language, addressing their specific problem, and presenting a clear solution. And here's something that makes your pitch even stronger. Performance-based pricing. When you charge a percentage of revenue instead of a flat fee, you're removing the owner's risk entirely. They don't pay you unless you deliver results. That's an incredibly easy yes for a property owner to say because they're not gambling on you. Your incentives are directly aligned with theirs. One of our BNB tribe members, Andrea Jordan, is a perfect example of this. She landed her first luxury co-hosting client by leading with specific value. She showed the owner exactly what she'd improve and how. She negotiated 20% management fees plus upfront consultation fees for the audit and the relaunch. And this was her first client. She didn't have a massive portfolio or years of experience. She had knowledge, preparation, and a tailored pitch. So what should you charge? Well, the standard range for full service co-hosting is 20 to 25% of gross revenue. And I need to be really direct with you here. Do not compete on price. This is the single biggest mistake that kills co-hosting businesses before they even get off the ground. Owners who hire based on the lowest price will be the most difficult clients you'll ever work with. They'll micromanage everything, question every decision, and expect premium service at budget rates. It's better to charge 20% and deliver exceptional results than to charge 10% and burn yourself out trying to make the math work. All right, so you've landed your first client. Congratulations. But here's the thing. Landing a client is just step one. What happens next is what actually determines whether you keep that client, get referrals, and build a real business. So let me walk you through exactly what your first 30 days should look like. Week one is all about the audit and optimization. You're going through the listing with a fine-tooth comb. Photos, title, description, amenities, setting, pricing strategy. This is where you make the biggest immediate impact. Most underperforming listings have obvious issues that can be fixed quickly. When the owner sees those changes translate into better performance, their confidence in you skyrockets. Week two is about setting up your systems, messaging templates for booking confirmations, check-in instructions, mid-stay check-ins, and review requests, cleaning coordination, who's cleaning, what's the checklist, how are turnovers scheduled, check-in and checkout procedures. You want to systemize and streamline everything that you possibly can from day one, because these systems are what's going to allow you to scale later without dropping the ball. Weeks 3 and 4 are about launch and monitoring. If you're relaunching a listing, treat it like a brand new launch. Competitive pricing to build up momentum and stack up those early reviews. If you're taking over an existing listing that's already live, implement your changes and track the results closely. Document what's working, what needs adjusting, and keep the owner updated on progress. Communication in this early phase is everything. Now, beyond that first 30 days, there are a few systems that are absolutely critical for scaling. Use a PMS, a property management software, even for your very first listing. Platforms like Hostaway pay for themselves immediately with the time that you'll save through automation and centralized management. Set up automated guest messaging so that you're not manually typing out the same message over and over again. Build a reliable cleaning team, because this is genuinely the backbone of your entire operation. And document everything. Create SOPs, standard operating procedures, for every repeatable task. Because when the time comes to bring on help or delegate, those SOPs mean you can do it without quality dropping. And this is where co-hosting gets really exciting, because once you've delivered results for that first client, getting the next one becomes dramatically easier. Your first client is your proof of concept. Your second and third clients come from referrals, word of mouth, and the confidence that you built through real results. Most of the successful co-hosts I work with hit 3 to 5 properties within their first 6 to 12 months. Let me put that math in a perspective for you. 5 properties averaging $5,000 per month in revenue at 20% commission equals $5,000 per month in co-hosting income. That's $60,000 a year with relatively low overhead. And as you grow, your systems do all the heavy lifting. The business becomes increasingly passive as your SOPs, your automations, and your team handle the day-to-day operations. If you're serious about launching a co-hosting business and you want to shortcut the learning curve, I put together a complete co-hosting training that's 100% free. It walks you through exactly how to get started. And you'll also get access to our profitability projection tool as a free bonus to help you find and analyze profitable listings in your own market. This is the exact training that people like Andrea started with before going on to land their first clients and build real co-hosting businesses. It's completely free. I'll leave the link right in the description down below. I really believe co-hosting is one of the most accessible ways to build a real income in short-term rentals. And the only thing standing between you and your first client is taking action. Everything you need to get started is linked in the description. Drop a comment below if you're planning to start co-hosting this year. I read every single one. See you in the next video.